He's going to hate that I'm going to call him out for this, but he was sitting at his desk. I knew he was doing it. He's like, oh.
All right. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nah, thank you. I appreciate you coming on the show. Why don't you quickly introduce yourself to the camera and let everyone know who you are?
Yes. Hello, I am Taylor Roche. I am a pop artist based in I was about to say New York, based in New Zealand.
We're not quite there yet.
Not quite there. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm a musician, indie pop artist, and a TikTok creator.
Cool.
And I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. We're excited to have you. And I want personally to go back to the start of the music career and that journey. And I want you to just tell us like where it all began. I'm guessing like music doesn't just like appear in people's lives, so it's probably been there for a long time. But like where did that journey as an artist start?
It's been a huge part. I mean, every artist says like, oh, as long as I can remember. But like I remember when I was about 6 or 7, I got really into the Backstreet Boys. Yeah, cool. So that was my the moment that I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a Backstreet Boy. I was real.
How old are you? Sorry,
I'm 25 now.
Oh yeah, cool.
So,
So
pretty much all of my life.
Yeah.
But I was when I was about 6 or 7, and there was a CD that my parents had. It was Now 18.
Yeah.
And it had, has the collection of all the different songs at the time.
Yeah, I'm old, I know now.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting everyone know.
Yeah, it's not a new thing. But so I had that.
Cool.
And on one song on there was Incomplete by the Backstreet Boys, and I was obsessed with that song. There was something about it that just woke something in me. And so I used to rehearse in my room every night. I would do a routine to that, and I just envisioned that I was a Backstreet Boy. And from there, I entered into a school talent show, and I sucked, obviously, because I never sung in my life. But I left it, and I was like, "This is me. This is what I do with my life. I want to be a singer." So
that's awesome.
Yeah, been
ever since then.
Ever since then.
6.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. And so, like, tell us about like through school. Like, how was that? Like, what did you do to progress that and keep doing? Did you learn instruments and stuff as well, or just like strictly singing?
Yeah, when I started, I was strictly singing.
Yeah.
My parents got me into lessons, and then I got into piano. So I think I must have been 10.
Yeah.
When I started learning to play keys, and that was. My parents were quite strategic with that because they're like, oh, if he's going to learn singing, he's got to learn an instrument to go with it. Yeah. So I learned piano, and I just got real tired of learning scales, so I quit after 2 years. I just wanted to be good. But I was too young and naive to understand that you got to practice to be good. So I didn't stick at that for very long. I still play, but I'm very basic now. I really wish I kept it. Kept that
I was
up,
the same.
Yeah.
I was like about 2 years as well, and like mum was like begging me to keep going. And I was like, nah, I'm over it. Like, I just want to be good at this. And now I'm like, every time I see a piano like at someone's house, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I wish I could play this properly.
Yeah. Like, I'm like just chords now. I do chords. I can do some little melodies, but I learned enough to be able to hold the singing and kind of do it together. But and then from there I got into musicals. So I started doing shows at school,
cool.
and that was another string to the bow that I really loved. And I just kind of never stopped.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you do anything with it like tertiary? Like, did you go do anything?
Yes, I did for a year and then I quit. There's a real trend here. Maybe I'm not a...
Sounds like my youth, to be fair.
Yeah. So, man, I sound terrible when I say it like that, but...
Hey, all the best people have quit.
All
the best people. I quit.
It's character building.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I started... So I went to Otago Uni to do contemporary voice. I remember when in my last year of high school, I auditioned for 3 places. Yeah. Thinking I'd get into 1, but I got into 3. So I freaked out, which is cool. But I was like, what do I do? And then I knew that I wanted to do something that wasn't... Because at the time I had... Throughout my high school years, I was trained... Like vocally, I was trained at more classical and opera, which is really good technique for a singer. But I knew deep down I didn't want to be an opera singer. And there was a contemporary course at Dunedin that was strictly contemporary and like pop and jazz and everything. So I thought, I'm gonna do that because at least that's something different. That's kind of what I knew I wanted to at some point go into that style. So I auditioned for that, and I did that for a year. And I think within the first month I was down there, I was like, man, I hate this. Like, I just didn't like it. Like, it wasn't for me. I wasn't a study person at that point. I was kind of done. And then I just knew that I wanted to do it and just be, just find my own voice. And so, I did that. I did it kind of my own way. And
cool. Well, tell me about that. Like, so what does that journey look like? Like, when did you start just doing it on your own, and how did you do that?
I remember during that year, so that was 2016 that I was studying at Dunedin. And I was actually doing a show. I was doing Grease, the musical, down there with a company, and it ended up being a really big show. They put it on at the Edgar Centre, which is like an arena. So they made this like arena show of Grease.
Oh, cool.
And it was insane, biggest show I've ever done in my life, like theatre wise, and had so much fun. And that was kind of like the blessing for me that year. It was the one thing that took me away from the uni almost. Like I was like made some really good friends in that, and there was a guy I was playing Sonny, one of the T-Birds, and there's the guy that played Danny. They flew him in from Australia, and his name's Samuel Armstrong, and he's an incredible performer. And I ended up becoming really, really good mates with him. And I remember one night there was a group of us hanging out and having some drinks. And I said to him, I was like, man, I really don't like uni, but like I feel bad saying that because like I don't know what I should do. And he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to just perform. Like I want to be a singer and stuff. And he's like, dude, have you ever thought about singing on cruise ships? And I was like, that's wild. No, I never thought about that. So he did that. He that was part of his like. So after he was done with Greece, he was going back over to like Europe somewhere. He had like a group that he traveled the world with, and I just latched onto that idea. I was like, man, that's so sick. And he was like, well, he was like, dude, if you can guarantee me that you'll over the next few months, instead of studying, you just work at like putting a profile together, work on your image, like get some good photos, etc. I'll put you in touch with my agent and I'll pitch you for some ships. Cool. So I was like, deal. So I did that for the rest of that year. I would in the evenings I would go down to the because we had access to studios there through the uni. So I'd go there and I'd just practice and work on a repertoire, and like I put this like page together on a website called Star Now, which I don't even know if that's still running, but it was like I don't even know what what it was. It was just more of like I think it was like a musicians find other musicians and connect and everything. And I said that I wanted to like get on ships. I needed a guitarist. At that point I worked I needed someone to jam with because I wasn't fluid enough to play keys and just be by myself. And there was this guy called Mark who applied on the thing. And it sounds so weird applying because it was just such a random thing. But anyway, he lived in Christchurch, which is where I'm from. And so I was going back to Christchurch to see my dad for the holidays. And so I was like, let's meet up whenever it was, and we met up and we just hit it off and we jammed. And then I said to him, this is the goal. I want to go on ships, and I don't know what it's going to look like, but I really want to do it. I knew that was my step to get into something that I could do, just singing and like get into the professional side of it. And within a year we got booked, so it was cool.
Awesome.
So
nice.
And it was like a 2-week stint on a ship out of Auckland, and it was like incredible, changed my life. And then we ended up getting booked heaps throughout. So that was in 2017 we got booked for that, and then all of 2018 we were just booked up. So
nice.
It was.
How good is that?
And then kind of through that I started just playing around with my voice and started experimenting with different styles, and then almost retrained my voice away from the opera style and like went very like kind of jazz and pop, and that's kind of how I found my own artistry and my own what I wanted to do as an artist. So
and so that you did all that like retraining throughout that year that you're on ships.
I think that 2018 was a really important year for me. I didn't write. Oh no, I did start writing as well. I started songwriting that year, but I never released anything. But I just kind of played around with different things, and it was my way of kind of resetting what I wanted to do. So
that's cool. What happened after that? So 2018 that sort of finished up, or did you?
I remember the agent that we had, the company, they had a huge like changeover. A couple of ships got sold, so a lot of people left the company, including my agent. So we lost a lot of. So we were booked up for 2019 as well, and we lost heaps of bookings for that year. So then I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, like I've just lost heaps of gigs. And at that time we also had quite a lot of gigs booked around in Christchurch as well. We did weddings and corporate stuff.
Yeah,
and so
So
had a lot on land, but I was like obsessed with like traveling and singing, and I wasn't done with it. I wanted to keep doing it. And then I had another friend who I'd met on that ship, and he said to me, he was like, dude, why don't you just like apply for like international ships?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, true.
Yeah.
So I did. So I applied for I think I applied for like 4 or 5 agencies that were based in America, and I didn't really hear back from any of them. But there was one that came back to me, and they're like, "Hey, can you send us a video of you singing these songs?" And at that time, I remember I was in Auckland doing a trip up here for something. I can't remember what I was up here for, but I just got back to them. I was like, "Yep, we'll get that to you." On Monday, and then when I got back on Monday morning, I randomly got an email from them saying, "Urgent, we need a vocalist for a stint next month, out of Miami, I think it was, who's available." And I just happened to get it, and I was like, "Me." I was like, "I'm available." Even though I hadn't sent them the video, and they're like, "Perfect,
love it."
Yeah, cool. They didn't even ask for anything more, so then they booked me for that, and then
good.
and then I was with them for like a year. So
and then I guess COVID happened.
And then COVID happened.
Stopped all that.
Yeah, stopped all that, and that was kind of a bit of a blessing in disguise. So I was overseas at the time. I was on a ship in America. We were in Orlando at the time, and COVID hit. I flew back to Auckland, and during that contract that I was on at that time, I started writing heaps. Like I was getting real into I was really hungry to release my own music, and I started just doing all these like planning like how I was going to do it, what it was going to look like, and I just didn't have the opportunity to kind of really go hard at it because I was traveling. So I'd never really like stopped to fully focus on that. But then COVID hit, came back to New Zealand, and I was like, right, I got no plans to go anywhere at the moment because we can't. So I just went full on into the artist thing, and then just spent most of 2020, all of 2020 really, just focusing on that. And then when things started opening up in early 2021, that's when I had moved up to Auckland at that point. And then just started messaging producers that I liked, artists, local artists, their music. So I would find out who produced it, and just started showing up to gigs and kind of mingling and built friendships with a few musicians up here.
Awesome.
And
and so like this bit always, I mean, I'm not from the music world, right? So like I have no clue what you just said about messaging producers and stuff. So I'm going to break that down a little bit so I understand it. So 2020, you spent time like writing and getting your style put together and stuff.
Yeah,
were you actually recording stuff and things throughout that?
So I did. Cool. So when I actually the ship that I went on that was meant to go throughout 2020. I actually bought like a kind of like recording rig with me on ship, and I like decked my cabin into a studio. So I just awesome. So I would like
love it.
So sometimes I'd finish a set and I'd come back and plug in and just start just kind of doing ideas. And then I would record a little demo and I'd send it back to I have a good friend in Auckland who is a producer as well that I already knew at the time. So I was just sending stuff to him and be like, what do you think of this? And he's like, yeah, cool. I can make something with this. And then he'd send a demo back to me about, sick. And I just like store it away to do more of when I get back to New Zealand. And
So when does it go from like making demos and recording in your cabin to like, I've got something live? Like this is like a fully released single. Like when did that first happen?
That first happened. So one of those demos that I really liked, the whole time, I couldn't stop listening to it the whole time I was away. When I got back during 2020 and like kind of fully moved up here the second half of that year, me and Sam, we just went really hard on that, and I was obsessed with that song. And I knew that one, I really wanted to release that one. So I did. I released it that year, actually. I think it was like August 2020.
Okay.
And that was kind of my first proper release where I like was really stoked with what I was putting out. But I'd released a couple of songs prior to that, but they weren't really, I didn't do anything with them. I just dropped them and I thought they were going to do it, because I was new to it.
Because I made it.
Yeah. I was like, people will listen to this. But and even now, like that song, it's not really like something. It's not something I do live now or advertise now. But I don't want to. Yeah, it's called Never Like That. It's I don't know if it'll show up on the. If you go to like See More.
Oh yeah, See More.
Yeah. Number 9. So yeah. So that one that dropped in
so
in 2020, and it's like very like it's super basic pop, but like it's still like a bit of a
yeah. I love it. Might get what's it called? Copyright infringement. You let that play out. Tell me a bit about that, like, because for me, my benefit, and for anyone listening, like, how do you do that? How do you release that?
So that was so we started that demo when I was overseas, and that was between me and Sam. Yeah. And I got back, and then we like re-recorded everything, and then layered it up with better synths and everything, because we had a studio to actually work in here. Yeah. And then all my releases I do through DRM, which they're a distributor here in New Zealand and Australia distributor, and so like I basically got the mix and the master, did some photos, and then send it all off to them like a month or so out from release, and then
it just happens.
away you go.
Love
so
it. And tell me about, like, from at this stage, 2020, had you started TikTok? Not yet? No.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I had TikTok, but I didn't use it. I think I had it, but I would have had maybe like 3 followers, and I was just scrolling through, watching.
Just doom scrolling.
Yeah. Everyone was locked up in their houses, so I was I wasn't posting anything. Nah. I actually didn't like TikTok at that time. I was like, this sucks. Like,
it's that age bracket, like. Kind of shaking his
I was just like, man, it's so cringe. Like, I just watch people be like, why would you post that?
Which
is so silly now, because like everything I make, most of it's cringe. So, so it's kind of full circle moment.
I love
now,
it.
But,
That's the same with Connor. Like, when he first started, he was like, fuck. Shit. And then now he's like, every day he's putting up videos.
Yeah, we eat our own words now. So,
No, that's crack up. How did you like promote that song? Well, did you promote it?
I did. Yeah. I had a few blogs pick it up.
Okay.
I got like onto like quite a few independent Australian radio stations. It was really niche, but cool. It was cool. Yeah, and and I know that I remember the hits. No. Yeah, the hits. Yeah. Here in Auckland, they did a thing for it, cool. So that was really cool. But other than that, I didn't do too much. I mean, I was still learning heaps back then. I had no clue how the industry worked as much as I thought I did. So my like PR skills are a lot better now.
Good.
Yeah. And I mean, the song is like I know I like probably like I don't talk about that song, and I don't like, it's not something I would perform live, but I also like, I'm a firm believer of not deleting your discography, like, because it shows growth and it shows where you started, and fans can go and see where, your original roots and see that
how you've evolved.
And I think that's a really special thing. So there's a huge, like, you listen to that and you listen to stuff that I do now, it's very different and it sounds a lot more polished now, which is good. Good sign.
Exactly. Okay, so with 2020 you released the song. Where does TikTok come in? Like, where does this start to happen? When do you start pulling that off? Is that 2021, 2022?
Yeah, 2021. Yep. I remember I started posting some covers in early 2021. Yeah. And like, nothing happened with them. But I just like, I knew that I was like, man, I should just start posting videos on there, because I don't have like, I don't know, I always didn't like posting on Instagram too much, because I always felt like people were maybe judging me, or like it was like trying to everyone I don't know, this thing with Instagram is like everyone kind of shows their best self, and so I've always been like, maybe I don't sound that good in this, so I won't post it, or I don't look that good, so I'm not going to post it. So I would just post all of my covers on TikTok. They never did well, so I just didn't really like I didn't go too crazy on it. I just every now and then I'd upload a cover. And then I remember the lockdown that we had in August 2021, I happened to be when I think it was the Delta variant. So they like shut the country down again. And it was in Auckland. And I remember that night I was flying out of Auckland with Dad, because I was going to go down and visit him. And so I just decided that I was like, I'm just going to gap it and go back to Christchurch, because I feel like, because they said Auckland would be locked down for 7 days. And the rest of the country would be locked down for like 3. But we all knew that was going to be a long
7 months and 3 months.
Literally. We knew it was going to be a long 7 days. So I said to Dad, I was like, shit, I'll actually bring like a couple of extra suitcases and just move back. So I did. And then when I was down there, I remember I started filming more like random random stuff. And again, nothing happened with it. And then there was a video of my dad, because he was up in Auckland for a conference. He's a real estate agent, and they had this big conference with his company, and it was like a I don't even know what it was for. It was celebrating something, and it was meant to be that night that COVID lockdown got announced. But when they announced it, they had to shut it down because you know they couldn't really do that, and so they ended up hosting like a online Zoom party maybe 3 nights later. And Dad was sitting he's gonna hate that I'm gonna call him out for this, but he was sitting at his desk. I knew he was doing it. He's like, oh, he had like his like fancy bottle of wine, because they sent wine to everyone. And he's like, mate, I'm just gonna be doing my Zoom call in my room in about like 5 minutes. That'll only last for like half an hour. And I was like, oh, all good. And I was in the room next door, just like with headphones on, like just tinkering on the keys. And I just came out to go into the lounge. And when I came out, he was sitting at his desk with like he was in his like tuxedo. I didn't realize he was going full like I didn't realize he was gonna fully send it. So he's in his tuxedo. He had this like flute glass with like some champers in it, and he had a little bowl of like twisties chips sitting to the left, and like he's sitting there with the Zoom call waiting for people to join, and like no one had joined yet. He was there early because it's Dad, like and so I was like cracking up. I grabbed my phone and I like just like recorded it, and I like flipped it back to me, and I was like silently laughing. And at that time there was an audio trending on TikTok, and I was like, yo, bro, who got you crying like that? And so I posted that. And I said my dad with his like Zoom call, and it like blew up. Like it just, and that was the first viral video I had. And I was I thought it was hilarious. And then 2 nights later, I really picked on my dad during this phase, but 2 nights later, I like got some garlic bread from the supermarket to have with dinner. And I was like, he was going to cook it on the barbecue with the meat. And I was like, oh, all good. Just do that at the end, because it'll take like 30 seconds to toast the garlic bread. He's like, yeah, all good. And he put the garlic bread on the start, and he just forgot about it. And so then like half an hour later, he was like, oh shit. And so he runs out, and then pulls out these 2 big black sticks, and like runs inside, and he sits it there, and he's still adamant he's going to save it. And so he's like scraping it off, trying to scrape off all the char grill off the garlic bread. And so I filmed that, and I'm laughing, and he's screaming, going, fuck, no, don't film this. And then I was just beside myself, and I posted that night, and that blew up even more viral. Funny. And so I was just cracking up. And then I was like, sick, I found it. Like we're gonna be a star. And then I started posting more, and nothing happened. Like it was literally those 2 videos. Funny. And so I was like, damn. And then it's gonna be you're gonna be scrolling for a while. You're gonna be scrolling for a long time.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, but and I remember like after that I tried to post like covers again to see if maybe I got some traction, so people want to see me sing. But no, like no one wants that. They want to see silly stuff. So I stopped posting after that, because I thought, damn, I ran out of luck. Interesting. And then it wasn't until I remember like during January. Yeah, it was like very beginning of 2022. I just made a pact with myself. I was like, right, I'm going to post 2 videos a day, like on this. Like I'm going to actually like make this happen. I was like, fuck it. So I started doing like, I do 1 trend, and then I do 1 silly thing. And then it was kind of nothing at first, but then slowly the videos started kind of picking up. And then I had a couple of really good videos, and then I did a video at work. It was at the cafe, and it was things at work things at a cafe that feel kind of sus, and it was cleaning the steam wand. And that just went crazy. And then my boss said, he was like, you should come in and just film heaps of videos and turn that into a series. I was like, genius. So I did that, and that week I think I grew to like 10k followers in that week. Awesome. And that kicked it off. And then from there I started doing other little series, and then I did at the same time I started another series called Finding Unhinged like audios or like mashups, and that was like the main one that really took it off to like my first like 50k followers. And it was kind of
that's awesome.
Bit of a, but I mean I look back on that, and it's so, a lot of those videos are like they're so cringe, but like it worked. So
that's what it is, I know we look at the same as some of ours, like especially now that they're doing memories. It's like,
dude, memories is punishing. It's so punishing.
Because we only put our first one up on our Attention Seeker TikTok 1st of July last year.
Wow. Yeah.
And so they're all coming now. Like, and there's all these like glimpses, like, oh man,
that's so cool.
And it's just like cringe, cringe, like every time you see it. But that's content though, right? Like you get better at it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And like now my content is there are still huge elements of cringe to it, but it's kind of, I think it's a bit more, I don't know.
You've definitely like, like a strategy's definitely formed out of it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like you've got a lot more intent behind the videos that you make.
Definitely.
Tell me about these mashup ones. Like, like now you're doing like, you're taking like obviously a popular song, like 2 popular songs, but one from current day.
Yeah.
And then one from, it's not always old school though, is it? But
nah, so like, I think, so like I like last year, well for the past year, I was always just making videos to other people's mashups. And like I was and then people started like calling me like the audio finder and stuff. And so I was, cause I just happened to find them early.
Yeah.
And I just like, that was my thing and I loved it. But then like maybe like literally like 2 months ago, I was like, shit, maybe I can just make my own mashups. Cause I can produce a bit as well. So I just thought, so I did. And then I had a really viral one a couple of weeks ago and it was Taylor Swift. What was it? It was a Taylor Swift song with, I think I pinned it.
Fleetwood Mac one?
Oh, can you see pinned videos on desktop? No, you can't say. No.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
It won't be that far away though. If you scroll, it was.
I remember seeing it.
Down a bit more. That one, the 1.3 mil, because I got heaps of people using the audio.
Oh, yes. Mamma Mia.
Oh, no, was it that one?
The Mamma Mia one, eh?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one did really well. And then it had heaps of like big users like use the audio. Okay. And then it had that like kind of transcend into Instagram as well.
Yeah.
So and then it's
that's huge, eh?
Kind of since then I've just started doing my own ones. And they've kind of sound really cool. Like some of them like making in the room, I'm like, oh, these are sick. Like, how's no one thought about this? Like, but and now I've just been going crazy on that and just making heaps of mashups like every day almost.
I love it because like it's like a real, and I wonder if what your demographic? Do you know the age demographic that you have? Like, what's your?
It's like the 18 to like 34. Well, 18 to like 4, like if you put the 2, it's like the 2 middle ones basically. Those are like my 2 strongest ones. So like 18 to 35 and then 35 to 40. Yeah.
I was going to say because it reminds me, like, so when I was in high school in like the early 2000s, it was like mashups was like a thing you did like all the time. Yeah. Like it was just the thing. Like we would all make our own mixtapes and stuff for parties and stuff.
For sure.
And you do it. And so like hearing them, I was like, oh, this is like what we used to do. Like you find 2 songs that were pretty close in BPM and then you just
it's like a formula that's been around for ages. Like it's like not
nothing new.
Yeah.
But it's almost like because you're bringing it back to a new generation, they get to experience it, but then like my generation's like, oh, I love this shit. This is what I used to do as a kid when I was fucking around.
100%
on stuff.
Yeah,
like we used to have, I forget what it was called, like Red DJ. I think was like there was like Fruity Loops and then Red DJ. I think Fruity Loops is still around, but then there was like Red DJ, which was like you could throw an MP3 on each side of the, like it was like a virtual DJ thing, and you could match it up, and then you could record off it as well. Yeah, and so when I was watching those, I was like, I wonder where that came from.
Well, I've recently gone into, well, not recently, like a couple of years ago, I got into DJing as well. So I think I have like the DJ kind of air as well. So with pairing songs together, but like it's like I don't know why I didn't start doing it like mashing up my own ones like sooner because I've gained like quite a more followers since starting that a couple of months ago, and it's also been interesting watching it go over to my Spotify. Like my Spotify followers have been going
interesting.
Have had such a big incline than they have in ages. And I think it's from that because people are like going, where can I find this? Where can I listen to this? And they click on my bio and it takes them directly to my Spotify. Yeah. It's not on Spotify because I can't put the full.
Do you do it with your own music? Like use a popular song?
No, but there is a song that I'm going to do. So Sign of the Times, Harry Styles mashes up with, it blends really well with my song Better Than Home, which I released earlier this year. Yep. So I'm going to do that and see if that does anything. But
love it. That's smart. That's smart. That's really clever.
Yeah.
And then the other one I wanted to ask, like the Barbie one.
Yes.
Like, so you've got a couple there. You got one with like, is that like one of your songs?
Which one?
There's like one where you've like, if Ken wrote a song and then F Adam or whatever his name is. Is that one of your songs?
Yeah. So my song I've got a release coming out soon.
I was wondering if that was what it was.
Yeah. So again, like trying to use current things that are gonna capture someone's attention when they're scrolling. Like everyone's looking out for the name Barbie at the moment, so you see that. And then I use that for my song.
So Connor, if you just go up, there's one where it says Ken, I think, in this one. Oh no,
No, that's.
not
I
that
think
one.
it's there's this
No, it's
one,
not that one.
where I'm talking.
Yeah, it's not that one. Do you remember that one?
That one there where I'm
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, it's that
Oops,
one there.
refresh. It's not too far down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
right
one.
there. And I'm talking about my song. I'm like,
So I was real smart. Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like you wrote a song, and then I saw you did it again for the other character.
for Alan.
For Alan.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so smart. Like it's the same. And I've seen a few other guys do something similar
Yeah,
in
yeah.
their own one. There's a guy who did, what if we got AI to make a song using Imagine Dragon and something else, blah, blah, blah. And then it played the song.
Yeah.
And it was as if AI did it.
Yeah.
And it was when AI was blowing up in AI music. But it was just his song.
Yeah.
And no.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys I follow that do the same. They do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
It's I think it's a smart thing to do, to be able to like use the current a current trend, but not doing the trend itself, or just talking about it essentially. So
We
there
think-
it is.
I
Ken.
love it. That's so good. We love it because it's like one of those things. We talk about it with our customers, like what's in the zeitgeist, right? Like what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah.
You don't even have to make it a trend.
No,
it's just like
no.
talking about the same topic.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then you like what you've done is brilliant. Like you do that and then just lead off on it.
And I'm learning. And that again, because that's a new form of content for me. Still, is trying to be more like talking about things. Like most of my content, I don't really talk. And I just need to do that more because I think people always like to hear. They always like to listen to what you've got to say.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about something that's very like, Barbie's quite. There are so many like these crazy opinions on Barbie and like what the movie means and everything.
Yeah.
So everyone's wanting to listen to what everyone's opinion is, so they can like
formulate their own. And have a
And so
discussion
they
about
see
it.
that and they're like, oh, this guy's got an opinion on it. But then they, 30 seconds and they realize that, oh, he's not actually
Pitching us
talking.
our song.
Yeah, he's just pitching a song. And some of them stick around, some of them don't.
I mean, it does the right numbers though.
Yeah.
Like an
17K is really,
come
really,
through.
really, I was really stoked with that. So
With these, are you like, I mean, you can not tell me your secret sauce if you want, but when you do your talking and it leads into a song, are you then just playing the track over top, or is it a live sing? Yeah, okay, I was wondering.
so I'm
I
singing.
was like, it's way too good for him holding the mic like this. I was like, that mic's amazing.
He can sing. So I can't sing. No.
No,
So
obviously you can sing, but like it just turns into such a good. version.
So I'm using the song, the track itself. I've just like I've edited it over top of it. I'm not, that mic isn't plugged into anything.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like us. This is what we do.
It is plugged, like it's when I'm talking, it's obviously recording the talking part. But then when I
just fade in the real song. Which is smart.
So,
because you want them to hear the actual song, right?
for sure. And like especially that song, it's really hard to sing live because it's quite low and it's quite it's an interesting melody. So I think that one would be kind of hard to do acoustic. I mean, I could try, but I don't. I feel like the song itself.
Is clever.
Yeah,
this is smart. So when is this song coming out?
September 22nd.
Oh
yeah. So in a month.
Oh, September 22nd. Oh,
yeah.
A month from today.
Yeah.
No, tomorrow. And what does that look like? Like, so now you're into this. You've got the TikTok following.
Yeah.
You're releasing music. Like, how do you plan this? Like, what's your plan of action or attack to get a song released?
So it's already set up for release.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna make more videos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna really go crazy on this one, I think, because I need to.
Yeah.
I think I'll submit it to, like, I've got a few like blog and media outlets that I can send to that I've done in the past. Same with radio. I'll send it to radio and see if anyone wants to play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, it's interesting. I feel like now there's like I definitely, like, I wish I had my own PR behind it, because that obviously takes it to the next level, and they can sort all of that side out for you, and then I could just focus on doing TikToks and not have to do the admin side. But I mean, I've done it enough times to know what I kind of need to do for the admin part of it. But
okay. And do you, in terms of like putting out videos, like, do you sit down and like plan out a strategy for those videos, or do you sort of come up with it as it goes?
I usually come up with it I'll plan some kind of strategy. So I'll be like, okay, I want to do a song where there's just text on the screen and I'm not actually talking. And then I want to do another one when I'm talking. And then if I see a video, or like, for example, with Barbie, I was like, oh shit, this is a really good opportunity to like make my song about this, even though it has nothing to do with it. Fortunately, the song itself is quite like a the theme of the song kind of fits into that like that whole Barbie verse of like you know, are we enough, and like, you know, all this you know. So yeah, it kind of worked for that, but I think a lot of it will be on the fly as well. Like I'll
like hitting stuff as it like for instance, like this became really popular. Let's do a video.
Let's jump on it and try and
because they don't last long, right?
No, they go so fast. So
like Barbie's pretty much over with.
Days, exactly. Yeah.
Like we were going to do a newsletter last week about it, like about the marketing side of it, and I was like said to Ash, who does all the marketing, I was like, we're too late now. Like, I think we have to wait 6 months and do a full wrap up of its success over time. It's like we're almost missed the boat on it now. Yeah. Because if you're not fast enough, you miss it.
You do. Yeah. You can't sleep. You can't sleep on these things.
No. You got to be straight on it, otherwise, you're out.
Yeah.
Okay. From a career perspective, in terms of music, like, I mean, most people know like the New Zealand music industry, right? Like it's a pretty slow, steady rise, and then it goes bang. It's either that or it's play wedding gigs. For the rest of your life, for right? Sure. Where do you see yourself on that journey at the moment? Like, because like when I was looking at your Spotify, like, I mean that like the song at the top, like that's blowing up in terms of streams.
Yeah,
but, like, are you seeing this sort of like pretty big rise, or what's your feeling about it?
I've seen the rise in the last like 12 months. So Day and Night I released a year ago tomorrow actually. Okay. And that's at 100 and just over 150k, which is crazy on Spotify. It's decent, I think so like this last year has been the year I've really seen it have an impact. So it's kind of like hoping that that's going to keep getting bigger each year from now. It's not something that I've seen like my general growth. I mean, my general growth has been an upward thing, you know, since I started releasing, but it hasn't, like I said, it hasn't really had a huge change until the last 12 months. I guess potentially too early to tell. But I do think I'm definitely climbing. You know, like it's doing things. But I don't know. It's also like I'm learning as well. So it's
just going with it.
And I think, you know, my sound has taken a while to to develop. Like I wasn't as lucky as some other younger dudes that have this crazy sound at like 18 that they just like, they already know what they sound like, and they already kind of have it. When I was 18, I was still singing kind of classical music, you know, like I wasn't really an artist then. I didn't really become an artist till like 23. So it's been a more of a delay process, but I think TikTok has been the biggest thing for me. It's been that's what will probably do the numbers for me is having the TikTok fan base.
It's crazy how we always talk about this with TikTok, and like I don't know if you've seen those articles, but it's something like 80% of all #1 hits, new artists on the Billboard 100 come from TikTok now, right?
Oh, for sure. And I don't get any click-throughs on Instagram. Like no one clicks on that. It's all it's all people that I know personally, or just kind of just like almost ghost followers that don't really, you know, interact. Whereas TikTok is just, it's obviously a new audience every time you post, but then at the same time, there's a lot more of a kind of dedicated following there that are quite curious into what I do. So
I always find that real interesting, like with TikTok, because there's a lot of people in the world who will go out publicly and say TikTok doesn't have community, it doesn't have like legs to it, that the follower count and the view count don't mean as much as what they're doing. But like you're just telling me right there that that's not this case for you, that actually it's doing way more numbers on Instagram.
And that's the thing, like I've seen those videos, plenty of people saying, you know, followers don't really mean much on TikTok, like but shit, for me it's like the opposite. It's actually, if I didn't have TikTok, I would still be on a really slow roll at the moment. But it's been a huge thing for me. And I've seen, you know, like I can physically see I mean, you can't see my insights on there, but like my insights on my Spotify for artists are crazy in the last like month. The biggest that they've been for like ages. So
that's cool.
And that's purely from people just clicking through and
those mashups.
And thinking that they're going to find it on Spotify, and they get there and they're like, I'll check them out, and they like listen to a song and they might like it, and they go, oh sweet, I'll follow them. So I gained like 200 followers in a week on Spotify, which is crazy because no one really follows on Spotify. It's not really a feature that's big, so that was wild. So
scroll up. What is the total followers? Does it say? It says on here, right? Oh no, that's just
monthly listeners. My total followers is like 1,050, I think. And it was like I only had like maybe like 800 followers like 3 weeks ago. So it's like,
that's great.
It's kind of really started to do its thing. So, and it's not, I mean, that's not huge in the grand scheme of things. But
like
to
you're
what
new artist, you're still new, right?
Yeah.
And you're independent, right?
Yeah, fully independent.
Yeah. So like it's still great. Like 5,000 monthly listeners is still pretty solid for like
someone
who's doing it all on their own.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, again, it's a hard slog independently like it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm enjoying it. So
tell me about the like what's next? Like for you in terms of, I mean, you got a song coming out, but like how do you see you continually to grow this career?
Yeah.
And like what is coming up? How do you take what you've got and just keep that exponential growth happening?
I think like ideally I want to be an artist and I want to be doing it full time and I want to, be able to do it outside of New Zealand. But that's everyone's dream, right? Every artist wants that. So, but I think for me, it's kind of just hanging in for the longevity of it and really just not rushing it at the same time.
Cool.
I think I've learned a lot. This past year, I've learned to just really settle back and not go get too caught up in the like, I should be released, because I wanted to release an EP this year. That was my thing.
Okay.
And so I was kind of going hard on that last summer, and financially, like I got to the point like back in March, I was like, I can't afford that. Like it's actually, I'm going to be broke, and there's no point. Like I love music, but I don't want to be. I don't want to have. I don't want to put everything into that, because then like, it's never a guaranteed thing.
No.
So I've just kind of been slow burning this year and really just focusing more on the TikTok side of it, because there's huge opportunity there, and that could lead to anything. So that's kind of been more my focus this year, is growing the TikTok. So I released Better Than Home recently. And then so then Costume Party, which is the second single for the year. That'll be the next one. And I probably only do 2 singles this year, and I'm not mad about it. Like I'm really kind of like, I'm glad that I've put the focus on TikTok, because that's, again, that's
where all the listeners coming from.
Yeah, for sure. I think, I don't know, as an independent artist, like, man, it's such an important tool. And I think it's a thing that in New Zealand, most artists here hate, and they don't want to do it. They're like, oh, TikTok's not a thing, You can't, you've got to be true to your artistry and true to yourself. But it's like, dude.
If you want to make a career out of this, right?
And it's like it's a hard truth for a lot of artists, because it's a new thing that 2 years ago it wasn't part of the game as an artist. It was just like, okay, write good music and release it, and like have a good strategy for PR or whatever, and then you might do kind of all right. And some artists do all right, and like some of the New Zealand like high rollers that have been around for a while, they have a really bad TikTok presence, and like. Not that changes their music or anything, and a lot of them don't care, and that's sweet. Like it's not like you can't. It's not saying for everyone. But like a lot. I've had artists approach me and be like, "How do you do it?" We're like, our label is like trying to push us, but we can't actually. We don't actually know how it works. Like, but and it's like, again, you can't really tell anyone. It's just you've got to start and find. You'll find something that sticks on the wall. But I think it's just a very important tool that a lot of people still are kind of sleeping on in the 100%. Music world anyway,
especially in New Zealand.
And we're in the corner of the globe, and it's like we are isolated somewhat from the rest of the world, and TikTok is just a non-biased app that is just like global.
Is it good or not? That's all it cares, right? Do people like this or not?
For sure. And that's kind of I don't know, I think that's my 10 cents worth on the other.
I think you're on the money, and I think it's so like such a mature view of it, like where I've talked to lots of artists, I've talked to lots of different people, not just in music, but like photography or videography and all this sort of stuff, and they're just like off TikTok. Even though like in our world, we talk to a lot of businesses who are just like, oh, is there any, we're a B2B business, is there any use for TikTok and blah, blah. And I'm like, you've seen our growth. Like, you've seen what we've done on it. Like,
you guys are crazy growth.
It's like, why do I have to convince you? Like, you've like seen how fast we've grown. But people just don't, like, especially New Zealand. Like, New Zealand's always behind. Always behind. Sure. And I think you're right. Like, being this isolated in this corner of the world, if you're a music artist, you're stupid in New Zealand if you're not using it. Because, like, literally, it's luck almost to make it otherwise. I mean, it's not just luck, but, like, there's talent and all the other things. But, like, there's how many artists are trying to make it.
For sure. And it's, I don't know, people think that it's like there's some special thing you need to be able to be good at it, like on TikTok. But there really isn't. Like, I've never had a following up until TikTok. I've always been like shit on Instagram. Like I've always, I don't really post on Facebook. Like I've just like never been like super like, I guess, popular. That's a bad way to use that word. But you know, like, and then with TikTok, it's just been like my audience is predominantly like not a New Zealand audience, and that's, as an artist, like that's so cool because I'm reaching audiences that would never know who I am, would not know my music. I had a lady who reached out to me last week, and she was like, she sent me this beautiful message on Instagram, and she was like, "We love your song Better Than Home. It's our favorite song. Cool. Me and my fiance, we're getting married this year, and it's probably gonna be our first dance because it's just such a beautiful song." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" And they're from the UK, and they found me through TikTok. She was like, I love your TikTok mashups. We kind of found you on TikTok a while back, and it's just
How
so cool.
That?
Like and that doesn't happen just by, you know, not being tuned into that side of it.
Do you know what's real cool about that is that, like, this is what I love about the new age artists, is that you are able to get that message.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were a big factory pop star, that you would never have got to you.
You don't. It's just
it would never have got to you.
Nah.
So it's a two-way communication with your audience.
It is,
it's cool, man.
And that's, I mean, the other thing too is another thing about a lot of like artists here is they don't like to engage back with their audience, and it's a really weird thing that I've always hated it. Like I, not to ever like bag off any artists here because everyone's doing their hustle and grinding, but like you'll see artists and they'll see like the comment section, they'll have some lovely comments and they just ignore all the comments. They don't reply, and it's like, man, like I always reply, like always engage with people that like engage with you, because it's I think nowadays, it's got to be, you've got to have that kind of personal connection, like on both ends. Yeah, absolutely.
Like we're huge on it. Like on my personal TikTok and LinkedIn and everything, I mean, I might not get to it straight away, but like I'll get to every single comment
for sure.
I'll reply to all of them. Our attention seeker one, it's kind of like at that point now of that one where it's like, okay, we'll get onto them for the first hour afterwards.
Oh yeah, and also you can't reply to if you have a viral video, you can't actually reply to
20,000 comments. It's like I'll do 100.
I'll do some, but then you kind of you get to the point you're like,
it's like fuck, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. You know?
Yeah.
But we try to get in there because actually so many of our videos moving forward are based off of what the people said.
Yeah,
like that whole questions thing we did, where we spell it incorrectly, that continued to be part of our narrative because of how much it was in the comments and how many people were making videos about it and all this sort of shit. Right. So we're like, you double down on it. Like, your community says it's cool, so you make it cool. You make it part of it, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna talk about leverage as well, actually, like with TikTok. I watched who did I watch it on? Maybe Vox or something like that, who did how music artists' contracts are getting negotiated now with these kids who are coming through TikTok.
Yeah, true.
And so they were talking about how, like, you know, in the back in the day, you'd submit a demo or whatever, an agent would be like, "Hey, look, we'll give you this deal. We own you for this long. Deal with it. You know, if you want to be part of it, deal with it." Yeah. And now these kids are coming along going, "Well, we don't actually need you to distribute our music because we've got it already. We need you to do other things that you can do, which is putting us on stages and PR and all the other things that record labels can do." And like they're completely changing the way that their advances work. And in fact, some of them aren't advances anymore. They're just like straight up buying the opportunity to take your back catalog and shit. Or not being locked in for, like, they're doing what like Dave Grohl did with the Foo Fighters, where like he went in and just went, "Oh no, I'm not signing to you. I'm just giving you a 1-year distribution deal of my music." And that's pretty fucking epic. Yeah. Because like, imagine you get up to, you know, however many followers, but you're getting, this starts to blow up. Yeah. And a record label comes to you. Yeah. There's something for you to remember is that like you now have leverage.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
And that's the thing with it. And that's the other thing too, is that like it's creating, you know, with TikTok, you can create something that like, you don't have to go to a label or a management and be like, "Hey, can you manage me or can you represent me?" Because it's like, nah. I kind of represent myself. What can you do more, like outside of it, that's going to benefit? You know, that this can't control. So that's I think that's a huge thing, and that's a massive thing that it's brought on.
And I think like for like people like yourself, it'll be things that like, one, you don't have experience in, or two, it's just so much work to do. Like, imagine like a world tour. Like if you, let's say you blew up massive, and then you had enough to be able to do a world tour or some shit, right? Like, you don't want to manage those logistics. That's 10 people full-time job. Like, and you just like give it to them. They take care of it all. They take their cut. and you just turn up,
for sure,
be the talent, right? Just the perfect type of job.
Yeah.
It's like that guy, the comedian Matt Rife.
Yes.
Have you seen his stuff recently?
He's been going crazy on TikTok.
He's like just done his world tour was like 300 or 600,000 tickets, one or the two. It sold out in like 20 minutes.
It's crazy. Yeah.
20 minutes, and all he does is put up crowd work. He doesn't even put up his actual.
I know, but then he's got like, it's interesting because then he's got heaps of like other TikTokers that do like impersonations of Matt Rife, and like that creates more buzz around it too. Like it's just like, and then his name is just on everything, and I love it. So cool. Like it's such a epic. Like
he is just gone off. And I was watching the story about him. Like when he first put up that video, the first video did of crowd work, and how it took off. Yeah. And it was only like a year and a half or 2 years ago. Yeah. And like he's trying to get to this big thing, but then it just blew up. And look at him now.
Great. 16.5 million.
Fuck, it was only like start of this year he was at 7 million.
Yeah, I've been seeing heaps of his as well, eh?
Oh man, he's gone off.
That's wild.
And I love that. Like he's just found a formula, which is crowd work, because most comedians will tell their jokes. Yeah. And he's like, well, I'm not going to do that.
No, he just gets up and chats with crowd, eh?
Because he has full routines.
Yeah, yeah.
He just does this on top of it, and now it's part of the show. But yeah, like I think it's like 600,000 tickets he sold in like 20 minutes. A world tour.
Look at the views on it.
I know. Every video goes off.
Over 1 million. That's crazy.
Like the amount of 8-figure videos he's got. Look at this, Ray. Only this one's a small video for him,
and it's 7.2 mil. Fuck, man.
He is insane. He's literally going to be the biggest comedian in the world soon.
No, for sure.
I mean, he almost is already.
Look at that.
I know.
22,
52.
22, 52, 37, 22. You know.
It's insane. It's insane how good it is.
And people will look at that and be like, yeah, but it's just like, that's not me. I can't do TikTok. Like, it's so, and it's like, dude, it's not like or they'd be like, oh, yeah, he got lucky, you know? Like, he hustled it.
He hustled. And that's what I was going to say. That was like one of my sort of closing points, I guess, is you talked about how it's like no secret sauce to TikTok. Like, you just got to go out and find your own thing. Yeah. But you know what it is, though? It's effort.
Yeah, huge effort.
That's it.
Oh, dude, and it's like...
And it's not taking yourself so seriously.
No, for sure.
Yeah, because like some of the videos that you put on, like just meeting you now, like you're a whole different person to the character you play on here, right?
No, for sure.
Right?
It is. A lot of it's very... like, I don't dance. And like, I'm not like girly pop.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I am. But like, I'm not very extra.
Yeah.
As like what a lot of my videos are like.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not far from it. But,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Like I do put on. There is a lot of elements of just like putting on a bit of a character to just get it done. Yeah. And it's like it is effort, huge effort. I'm always making TikToks. Yeah. And it's but when it's working, you love it. It becomes part of it. And
that's it.
It's not effort, you know. It's kind of you want to put that effort in because you're getting something from it. Yeah,
you get into a workflow of how it goes, right? Yeah. And honestly, once you start getting those videos that go off the dopamine hit, yeah, it's like I don't need the views, but fuck, they're good. Like fuck, they feel good. Like
you just feel it taking over.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So what? And my last question I kind of want to ask, because I think we're coming up to about an hour, eh? Is what have you like? Do you have any like actual? Like, what's next? Like, in terms of videos, like, have you got some ideas that you're wanting to try out, or is there some things?
Carry on with creating my own mashup.
Yeah, the mashup one's great.
Because that's like, it's music related.
Yeah.
So it all kind of falls back to what I do, which is music.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky to have found that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll just keep doing that. And
yeah.
Like, I'll keep doing the personality stuff. I really want to do more lifestyle.
Yeah.
Things and let people in a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I just want to keep growing.
Yeah.
And keep focusing on that as much as the music.
Yeah.
I think this for me, TikTok is the thing that's going to take it all to the next
100%.
level.
Yeah.
Like up until this year, like I kept saying to my girlfriend, I was like, because she's an artist as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And like she's worked within the industry and with management and stuff, and I've always been like, man, like I feel like I should have management and what should I do? How do I find the right team? It's like now, like I've got this. It's like and this is looking back to what we said before.
Yeah.
It's like the right team will find me.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's no point even thinking about that.
Nah.
I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because this is what's going to put me in the seat.
Yeah.
Have my own, make my own choice of who's, you know, who can come in and take it even further that I wouldn't be able to.
Exactly. So, yeah. What they need to pitch to you.
Yeah.
And say, this is how we help you.
Yeah. And I know that I want to do that out of New Zealand. I definitely want to grow that. Like, I don't want to stay here. No. I love New Zealand, but it's like.
Oh, not for this sort of career.
Yeah, for the career that I'm really trying to
bring
to life. I think. Yeah.
Do you have a country that you'd most want to do it in?
I mean, like I really like America.
Yeah. Because it's the biggest market, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
And that's where predominantly my
yeah, I thought it would be.
So, and it's funny because everyone thinks I'm American as well. So what I do.
Oh, really?
People are like, what is that? You know?
Yeah, funny.
Yeah. So I think definitely America. But I think I'm really keen to live in Aussie for a bit.
Yeah.
I love Australia.
Yeah, Aussie's cool. Aussie's fun.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be like the stepping stone.
But it's almost like, I reckon you end up bypassing it because, like, I mean, you can go from 137 to 400,000 in a month.
You guys are the example of that,
right? Like, and it happens. Like, you'll do something that'll go off.
Yeah,
and then
I was watching a video. Me and the kids were watching a video, and it was like an ultimatum or something.
Oh, with the tattoo one.
I think it was a tattoo one. Like, if you got X amount.
And
you guys just went.
Just blew up. So it was like Joni. It was one of our presentation videos, which are our big ones, and then she was saying, if I can double the following.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then so I'm gonna fly her husband over. Not she has to get a tattoo of my ass on it, and like. That was 215,000 followers off one video. Like, it was outrageous.
That's actually insane. Yeah. Like, the most I got was like off one video was 30,000. Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But
the thing is that it's not, and it's not that hard. Yeah. But that is an excessive number. But what you have to do is like build a reason. Yeah. Like, why do I want to follow you? Not just follow you because the video was good. There has to be another reason. That's it. They want to have a like in our world it's easy because it's like me versus Joni. So it's like they do it just to spite me, you know, which is like, we know that, like, that's the characters we built, right? Like we talk about it's Shrek and Donkey, like, you know, and so I'm the grumpy old Shrek and she's crazy chaotic Donkey, and so people just love to hate on Shrek and help Donkey, right? They love it, so that's why they do it. But like in your world, it's just like, how do you do the same thing? You know, like, how do you set stakes for your audience to go, yeah, fuck it, we will follow you for this thing? Yeah. You know, like, is it I don't know in your world, but it could be something like, if this happens, I'll do this thing, you know, or you know, like, and build it up. Don't go straight into it. No. Like, talk about this thing you want to do, like somehow lead it in. Maybe you could even do it as part of like your launch. Like, if my song gets X amount of streams, I'll go do something in the middle of Auckland, or you know what I mean? Like, give really people cool. Sometimes people just do it just to fuck with you. Yeah. Like, which
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I actually haven't even.
It's like a when you, it's like these ones that you've got the mashups, like you do that to find new audiences, but then you'll have this other storyline start. So people will come in because of these mashup ones, which you know already gets you views, and then they'll come see the storyline one, which will then have this like crescendo of like one big video. Yeah. No, that's really cool. Actually. Yeah. That's like, I've actually never thought about it. Yeah. That's if you watch ours, what you'll see is like, our story's been going for a while, so it's me versus Joni. So there's the narrative across a certain amount of our videos, and there's always been a challenge for Joni. Like, there's always been these challenges that she had to do something, and something would happen. And so everyone knew about, well, not everyone, but people who've been watching for a while have known about the 5K pay rises every time she hits a certain bracket, right? And so they always knew this was thing. And then they started to find out, oh, we're going to New York and Joni's coming with us. And then it was like, all right, Stan. And then she puts out a presentation video, which we hadn't done in a while, right, which we knew would always get a lot of viewership. But like the stakes that she set was brilliant. When she did it and when this bit's cut out of it, I'm like, I am not agreeing to, because the original deal was, I will get a tattoo if she gets it. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not doing it because like, it will get 1 million followers. Like you'll be at 1 million. It'll happen, and I'll have to get a fucking tattoo, and I don't want to get it. And so that's when I hit her back with, well, I'll fly Alistair, because I knew it was a bit, oh, it's not bad, but she really wants to come to New York, but she's married, right? And so I was like, this is a cool thing for you guys to have, and us getting 700 and something thousand followers is massive for us. But then she didn't know that I was going to say an ass tattoo. Like she thought I was going to say questions. Yeah. And so it was just this perfect storm of like, she came up with the best like deal that I didn't know was happening. Yeah. And then I hit her back with an even better outcome for her. Yeah. Plus I made the tattoo so bad that like we got people commenting both ways. Yeah. People who want to see it and people who are just like, I'm here to save you. Yeah. So when you can get that was actually a bit of a magical formula. And it wasn't, I mean, we didn't realize that it would go that crazy. But as soon as she did it, I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to go off. Like you're going to get like 50, 60,000 followers. And then it was like 100 and something thousand in 24 hours. It's just bonkers. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. But I guess my point of that story for you is, how do you create a series that gives people a reason? Yeah,
that's true, because I've been like, the mashup thing is an easy formula for me.
Yeah,
it's almost guaranteed views.
Yeah,
like, and then maybe I'll have one really good one that'll give me some, a bigger following chunk come through. But then having something else that's
a storyline
that's got some kind of
stakes to it.
Yeah, it's a bit more about me. And some kind of end goal towards it.
Do you like? I mean, you've done a bit in the past, but like, are you concerned about mixing more humor into your stuff, or do you like to do humorous things? Yeah. Because I was gonna say there's a bit of it in there.
Yeah, for sure. Because I do random ones every now and then. Like, pretty like just random kind of dark humor.
Yeah. Well, dark humor's the best.
Yeah. I don't go too dark.
No.
I don't want to be too.
No, don't want to get cancelled. No, because humor, obviously, humor's the easiest formula. But like, I don't know if you've seen those guys. They're an Aussie duet. And they sing like popular songs with an Australian accent.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have,
That sort of stuff is fucking brilliant. Like each one of their videos, I can't remember what they're called. Do you know what they're called? No.
No, I can't.
Nah, they're in the millions, every one of them.
I've been seeing this other one recently, and it's like, there's like a few creators doing it, and it's like a DJing one. They're like, trying out DJing.
Yeah.
Your honest thoughts.
Yeah.
And they'll just have one song that's like building into it, and they'll just like switch it to like, hey there,
Oh yeah.
But they'll keep the serious face, and they'll be on like, and then they'll switch it over, and then I'll just pretend it, and then literally just like they've just contrasted like a Black Eyed Peas song.
Yeah.
Just erupts like slathered over, and it's so funny. It's so lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Stitch comments, and someone will be like, nah, do it with you need to do it more seriously. You have potential. Maybe fade in a song different. Like a similar tempo.
That's funny.
And then they'll do another video where they'll choose one real fast and they'll go to an even slower song.
That is so good. I like that. That's
so
funny.
Basic, but it's really funny.
Yeah. But you're doing, it's essentially crowd work, right?
Yeah.
It's like Matt Rife, like it's playing with the crowd.
For sure.
You play with the crowd, they love it, they get involved.
Yeah. So I mean, like with the mashup thing, I try and like, I see someone will request a song. Like they'll be like, I want to do it with the bridge or something.
Yeah.
I'll like search that and try and do that.
Yeah.
So try and do that.
What's your current cadence of videos going out? Like how many are you putting out daily?
At the moment, I've been averaging like 1 to 2 times a day.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So I was last year, literally from like last January to maybe early this year, I was doing like 4 videos a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just really pushed, like just like super active and just like really growing it. But I think now I'm finding a formula that's kind of like
working.
It's kind of working.
Yeah.
I don't want to go
too crazy
stuff for the sake of posting now.
Yep.
I don't need to really.
Yeah. I was just saying for those mashups, right? Like if they're working, like milk them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't want to post 2 good mashups in one day.
No.
It might land at a different. The other one's trying to do. However that works. But the mashup thing. I could even break it up even more and do like try and find more of a different story. Like you're saying.
Yeah.
Focus on putting more of that. But
I think it's cool.
Yeah. What are you guys? What's your
Joni's target is 10 a day. But realistically,
that's what I'm gonna do.
No, look, there's some other reasons why we do 10 a day. It's not just for our own growth. I ideally want her to get to 10 a day, hold it for a week or so, and then I'll probably say to her, okay, cool, now we can scale it back. It's less about needing 10 out and more about her realizing she needs to redesign her workflow so that she can produce more efficiently, because she doesn't have one, right? Like Connor's real good at like going, Stan, just give me 3,000 things to do. I need to figure out a workflow for this and delegate. And
Jane just sits on the couch.
Yeah, she's just,
I'll leave at 9 tonight.
Yeah, she just does it all herself. And so the idea is to go slowly teach her, like, because she's a lone wolf. She's very skilled and good at what she does, but she's very lone wolf, and so she's trying to delegate and trying to build team around her. And so for me, it's more about that. Like, how do you do this sort of content at scale? You can't do it with one person. Like, you need a whole team. And she has a team around her helping her, but she needs to give out more. So I think, like, realistically, we'll probably settle at about 5 or 6. And the reason being is that we have multiple storylines going at all times. So we kind of think of, like, the Attention Seeker channel as a TV channel, right? And there's 4 or 5 shows on it. Yeah, and then the Stan versus Joni is just one of the shows, and then there's all the other things. And she'll keep doing stuff until she finds things that hit, and then she'll do more of them and keep them as part of the repertoire, and then get rid of stuff that doesn't work that people don't care about. But that's literally a full-time job. Like it's a different thing, Whereas like someone like yourself, you still got to go to work and make music and all the other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how you do 4 a day. That's
a lot. Yeah.
I got real into it. Like I'd come home because I work at a cafe as well.
Yeah.
So I would come home from work at like 3, and I would spend like 3 hours just making videos.
Yeah.
And I would post 2. I'd usually post like 2 that night. And the next day I already had like 3 to post during the first half of the day while I'm at work. So I'd have them ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'd come home and post 2 more.
Yeah.
And I just did that all last year.
Mate, it's so smart.
Yeah, I've slowed down obviously a bit now.
Yeah.
Because it's getting a bit more quality. But maybe I should just go back into.
Yeah.
It's not something you can force either, but yeah.
Nah, I think like our reasons for push for harder are a lot different to other people's. Yeah. But if there is a argument to be made that quantity works. Like putting out more does work. And what you should always do is like have a couple that are working that work, or that are pushing a storyline or narrative. But then there's like maybe one a day that's allowing you to experiment. Like, does this work?
But and it's a bit different.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be too attached to it.
Exactly. If it doesn't work, well, who cares?
And I need to be more like that, because sometimes I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it because no one will watch it. But sometimes they do. Sometimes you'll post it and be like, and then it ends up doing all right.
You wouldn't have known the mashups would have worked until you tried them.
No, exactly.
Like you just don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the same. Like, who would have known the presentation videos would have been the one, right? Like that would have taken off, or like any of the ones that we do. You never know. I mean, the very first video we had that went viral was the cat video. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that one, but like, I mean, it was so fucking stupid.
That was just so dumb. Yeah.
It was so fucking dumb. It was like 11 million.
It was like where your face turns into a cat. That was it.
It's like, what cat are you? Yeah. And then it fires it.
It was like
your mate. Yeah, and then
like,
it morphs. And it's happening to Joni. She's like trying to do it, but then Tara, one of the girls who used to work for us, walks up to her and is like, pretending she's HR, going, Joni, I just want to let you know that telling someone that it sounds like a you problem isn't appropriate workplace behavior.
I think I did.
Yeah. And so that one like was our first one to blow up. Yeah. And I think it took us across 10K or something like that initially. And it was real good for Joni at the time, because it was like, she was like, okay, we're on the same. She got her first pay rise, and it pushed her into doing more. But like, do you watch Lewis Davis stuff? The Māori guy family, they live up north. It's him and his daughter a lot of the time, and they're dancing. He's like 1.3 million now. You might have seen some of his
Gets
stuff.
his kid to try seafood and stuff.
Yeah, he's cool. Like, he does. Yeah.
So they've actually made a couple of videos to my.
Oh, have they? Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, he's a real good dude, but his cadence is 4 at the moment.
Yeah, they have. They did it must have been recent. They did a couple of videos.
Oh, that's cool.
Audio.
Yeah.
This is like 2 days ago now. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah. So you have to go down.
Yeah. He in the last 60 days, he's had 240 million views.
That's crazy. That's actually.
In the last 2 months. But
this remix is magic might be mine. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Taylor Roche.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
That's so good.
That's so cool.
How good is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah.
His thing is like 4 day every day, 2 a.m, 2 at night.
Amazing.
He's got a couple different series that he has.
I think that's the
Yeah.
I think I will find another series or another thing that works, and then I'll be back on that. Like,
it makes it easier, right? Because you know what you're doing. Yeah.
I'm literally gonna go home.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's so good. Good. That's the point of the Stance play.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I mean, we didn't even get into you being locked out. But
I know.
Is that not recording now?
No, that's full, but I've got audio on this one. So.
Okay, cool. Well, we might stop it there because we're well over an hour, and so Connor's already got a shitload to edit.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him.
But thanks so much for coming on. That was a cool chat.
Dude,
that was really cool.
Much. I really enjoyed it.
Likewise. So cool. Yeah, awesome. Cheers.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.